Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram.
Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes Sri Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Radharani Mataji, when you are ready, you can start, Mataji.
Okay, sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna to all dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 4, Sati quits her body. Text 1. The sage Maitreya said, Lord Shiva was silent. After speaking to Sati, seeing her between the decisions, Sati was very much anxious to see her relatives at her father's house, but at the same time she was afraid of Lord Shiva's warning. Her mind unsettled, she moves in and out of the room as a swing moves this way and that. Text 2. Sati felt very sorry at being forbidden to go see her relatives at her father's house, and due to the affection for them, tears fell from her eyes. Shaking and very much affectionate, she looked at her uncommon husband, Lord Shiva, as if she were going to blast him with her vision. Text 3. Thereafter, Sati left her husband, Lord Shiva, who had given her half his body due to the affection, breathing very heavily because of her anger and bewilderment. She went to the house of her father. This less intelligent act was due to her being a weak woman. Text 4. When they saw Sati leaving alone very rapidly, thousands of Lord Shiva's disciples, headed by Maniman and Madha, quickly followed her with his bull Nandi in front and accompanied by the Yakshas. Text 5. The disciples of Lord Shiva arranged for Sati to be seated on her back of the bull and gave her the bird which was her pet. They bore a lotus flower, a mirror, and all such paraphernalia for her enjoyment and covered her with a great canopy, followed by a singing party with drums, conch shells, and bangles. An entire procession was as prominent as a royal parade. Text 6. She then reached her father's house where the sacrifice was being performed and entered the era where everyone was chanting the Vedic hymns. The great sages, Brahmanas, and demigods were all assembled there, and there were many sacrificial animals as well as pots made of clay, stone, gold, grass, and skin, which were all requisite for the sacrifices. Text 7. When Sati with her followers reached the arena, because all the people assembled were afraid of Daksha, none of them received her well. No one welcomed her but her mother and sisters, who, with tears in their eyes and with glad faces, welcomed her and talked with her very pleasingly. Text 8. Although she was received by her sisters and mother, she did not reply to their word of reception. And although she was offered a seat and present, she did not accept anything, for her father neither talked with her nor welcomed her by asking about her welfare. Text 9. Present in the era of sacrifice, Sati saw that there was no oblations of her husband's Lord Shiva. Next, she realized that no one had her father failed to invite Lord Shiva. But when he saw Lord Shiva's exiled wife, Daksha did not receive her either. Thus she became greatly angry, so much so that she looked at her father as if she were going to burn him with her eyes. Text 10. The followers of Lord Shiva, the ghosts, were ready to injure or kill Dakshas, but Sati stopped them by her order. She was very angry and sorrowful, and in that mood she began to condemn the process of sacrificial fruitive activities and persons who are very proud of such unnecessary and troublesome sacrifices. She especially condemned her father, speaking against him in the presence of all. Text 11. The blessed goddess said, Lord Shiva is the most beloved of all living entities. He had no rival. No one is very dear to him, and no one is his enemy. No one. But you could be envious of such an universal being who is free from all enmity. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you so much, Radha. Hare Krishna. Yeah, when you're ready, you can start, Prabhu Himanshu Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, am I audible?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Just give me a minute, Prabhuji, let me share my screen.
Sure. Your video is not on, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, just give me a minute, I'm doing that too.
Sure.
Am I visible, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji, for giving me an opportunity to serve today for the pleasure of devotee and for my own purification. Let me invoke the prayer. Om Agyanti Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyate Shatanini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Today we are going to discuss about Canto 4, Chapter 4. Sati quits her body, and we are going to discuss from first 11 verses. So just a quick recap what we have heard in the last chapter. So last chapter divided into two sections. First section where Mother Sati was giving all kind of reasoning to Lord Shiva to get a permission from the Lord Shiva to attend his father's sacrifice. And second half of the chapter talk about how Lord Shiva has given, defeated all the reason. I think there are 5 reasons given by Mother Sati. So first reason was she was saying like everyone in the universe is going, all demigods, brahmanas are going and attending the sacrifice, and then there is no harm if one attend sacrifice or any function at a friend's house, husband house, or a spiritual master or father house. So Lord Shiva has defeated that argument based on he said like there is no harm going into the friend's house or father house or spiritual master house. But if a person whom you're going at that place, if that person has a tendency on finding a fault on the bodily platform, so then there is a problem going there because that person will become angry on the guest and insult the guest. So Lord Shiva here is trying to explain Mother Sati that Daksha is kind of a materially puffed up, merciless person, and he is doing the bodily identification. He is envious to the Lord Shiva, and because Mother Sati, being a favorite daughter of Lord Shiva, Daksha, is still because she's a wife of Lord Shiva. That's why, and he's enemy to the Lord Shiva. So he's not asking not to go because Mother Sati could not tolerate that blaspheming. Then another reason Mother Sati gave, my sisters and everyone is attending, their husbands are attending, and just to see the her affection for her relative, she wants to attend. Again, Lord Shiva gave the same reasoning like Lord Daksha will insult you and angry on you, and you could not tolerate that insult. And then the third reason Mother Sati gave, like I'm not advanced like you. She said, no, you are a pure devotee, but I'm not. I'm still attached to the place where I'm born. Then Lord Shiva said, yeah, your place of your birth will become the place of your death. So don't go there. And then she said, like, I'm your Ardhangini, half of your body. So please allow me. So Daksha, so then Lord Shiva said, Daksha will only see the other half of your body, where he will see, he will recognize you on your bodily platform, and he will see me in you, Lord Shiva in Mother Sati. So then he will insult you, and because he's envious to me. But Lord Shiva understand, because he's a Atma. We called it Atma. Shiva means Atma. He understand the mood of the Mother Sati, so that he did not force her not to go. He gave all the reasoning and let her decide. He asked her to decide. So because he mentioned, in spite, I gave all the reasoning, but still it's up to you. It's your decision. Because if you go there, your future will not be good there. Because if a insult of a respectable person is equal to the death, it's mentioned by the Prabhupada. So that's why Lord Shiva is willing that Mother Sati should not attend that function. So text 1, today's text is talk about Maitreya Muni said, now Lord Shiva, after giving all the reason, he becomes silent. And Sati, Mother Sati, become undecided what to do. She was kind of walking from one room to another room, she was oscillating as a pendulum, and she was unsettled in the mind, because Sati was so much materially, on the materially platform. She was afflicted on the family relationship, and she want to also follow the order of the Lord Shiva, but at the same time, because of the family affection, she want to attend as well. So she was completely undecided. So as a practicing devotee, the principle what we need to understand, like desire to see the family member, affection for the family member, not a problem. But that is not all in all. Basically, this is not the everything. What Prabhupada and our Acharya said, family affection is also okay to remain in the good state of mind, but that's not everything, because the ultimate goal of the Krishna consciousness is to, cultivate the Krishna consciousness and elevate everyone in the family member in the Krishna devotion. In the similar situation, if we look at it in our Krishna Leela, or, we have in a Bhagavad Gita, same situation. Arjuna was also in the same situation. He was, when he saw his family member, his guru, everyone at the opponent, as an opponent in the war of Kurukshetra, he was also very confused. He was feeling the weakness in the heart. And he sat down in the chariot, and he, put all his bow and arrow aside, and he was completely confused. But whenever the weakness of heart is there, then everyone's intelligence being misdirected. So Arjuna was in the same situation. He could not think what to do, what is right, what is wrong. But what good thing, he inquired to Lord Krishna, and he surrendered completely to him. And then Lord Krishna gave the instruction, and he cut the illusion of Arjuna. So there is I was hearing one lecture. Prabhupada has one Bengali proverb. So when one is undecided whether to eat or not to eat, so Prabhupada said, like, not to eat, don't eat. Because when you're undecided, don't eat. If you're undecided whether to go, not to go, then don't go. But if it's December, then you can eat, because you can digest. That's a proverb. And also, so that principle is, if we are confused in the state of mind, so better not to do that stuff, not to eat or not to go. But he also mentioned, if it's a nature's call, definitely one must go. You can't be confused at that stage. So text 2 talk about, so Mother Sati felt very sorry being forbidden. Because Lord Shiva did not say to go, she did not permit her to go, but she gave all the reasoning. So she want to see her relatives, she want to go her father's house. Due to the family affection, she was having tears in her eyes, shaking with affliction with the family member, and she looked at her husband, uncommon husband. So basically, aprati purusham means, one who has no equal and no rival. So that is what, uncommon husband means, because he's an exalted devotee. Lord Shiva. And if she was kind of staring the Lord Shiva in a mood like she was gonna, blast him with her vision, very common situation to all the family marriage life. It happens. Everyone might have experienced. So Lord Shiva, as we know, never forced, because she know the heart of the mother Sati, that she can quit the body if he will force her not to go. But at the same time, he left everything on her decision. So Mother Sati, but as Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, as for a woman, like the last, Mother Sati took a shelter for, she started crying basically. That's the last woman for a woman to, so that's where, her husband, Lord Shiva allowed her, accept kind of a proposal. She could not say anything else when Mother Sati started crying. So text 3 talk about therefore Mother Sati left her husband Lord Shiva, and it's called Ardhangani here, who had given half his body due to affection. She was breathing very heavily, all kind of symptoms, because she was kind of overruling her husband's desire, and at the same time she wanted to fulfill her desire to go. And because of the anger and bewilderment, she went to the house of her father. This less intelligent act was due to her being a weak woman. And I think if we recall in the first canto, Mother Kunti was having the similar prayers for Lord Krishna, where she was saying she want Krishna to stay with her son, because she was also a relative of Krishna is also a relative of Vrishnis and Pandavas, and she wants Krishna to stay back at with Pandavas, with her sons, and but she know if Krishna will stay back here, then it will not be good for Vrishnis, because they will get bereft of the association of the Krishna. So that's why she said to Krishna, she prayed to Krishna, please cut the tie of affection for the family member. Because as a pure devotee, Prabhupada says, if we, a Brahmana platform, a pure devotee platform, if we still entangled on the family affection, we cannot serve the real purpose of the Krishna consciousness. We can't serve the, mass forgotten souls. We will, we remain entangled in the family interaction. So come to the platform of the pure devotion. Definitely, we need to cut down the family affection. Similarly, examples are there for, Ramchandra has shown the same thing, being an ideal king. He proved that out. And also for Gopi, in the Krishna Lila Gopi, when Krishna, playing the flute, gopis would like to attend, Gopi would like to meet, and even their family member was, asking not to go, but Gopi left and ran towards the Krishna. When Uddhava went to Vrindavan, he observed, and he first want to cultivate the same mood of Gopi, but later on he realized their real position, and then he said, he prayed that I would like to be the creeper of the, creeper of the Vrindavan, so that when Gopi will run towards the Krishna out of love, then he can get the dust of the lotus feet of the gopis. Because gopis are so elevated, their position are so elevated. They are pure devotees of the Lord, and out of affection, they are running towards the Krishna, and they don't care about that on a bodily platform. If their husband, mother-in-law, children are asking not to go, they are going. So that's the situation of the pure devotee. So without cutting off the family affection or attachment, no one can be qualified to become a Brahmana or a pure devotee of the Lord. In text 4, when they saw Mother Sati is leaving the house alone, and thousands of Lord disciple, headed by Maniman and Mada, quickly followed her with Bull Nandi, and in front of accompanied by Yakshas. So here we will, this verse will tell us about the principle of followers, anucharas. So, and there are two keywords. Gata Vyatha means without fear, Mother Sati left the house. And Anuchara means followers. The followers, those who can understand the mood of his master. So all the followers of Lord Shiva internally understand the mood, desire of the Lord Shiva, and then they did the service and they get along with the Mother Sati, and they serve their master submissively. They serve, and they could do any kind of sacrifice for their masters. So from the Shastra, we can understand the story of Rupa Goswami, who understood the mind of Lord Chaitanya. When Lord Chaitanya met at Prayaga, at that time, he just gave a kind of a drop of an ocean of devotion to the Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. And he empowered the Rupa Goswami. And Rupa Goswami understand the mood and desire of the Lord Chaitanya, and he proved that out with his writings. And Rupa Goswami become the guru of our devotional mellow. And whenever other associate of the Lord Chaitanya read the writings of the Rupa Goswami, they were completely surprised how come Rupa can understand the mood, the teachings, or understanding of the mind of the heart of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And they understood that Lord Chaitanya empowered him for the same cause. So for a devotee, there are followers, Anuchara. There are three kinds of intelligence Prabhupada mentioned: the first class intelligence devotee, second class intelligence devotee, and third class intelligent devotee. The first class intelligence are those who can understand the mood of guru or spiritual master or their master without even getting told. So there is a story. I was hearing one lecture of the disciple of Prabhupada, where Mother Kaushalya, during the Delhi, during the 1971, it was a time in India where India-Pakistan war was going on. At that time, there was a situation in Delhi as a curfew situation, and Prabhupada was in New Delhi and along with his disciple. And there was a situation like during the 6 p.m., 7 p.m., everyone needs to shut down their life whenever the siren will go on from the police. And Prabhupada was having a difficult time at that time because of his preaching services, because of the shutting down the light. So Mother Kaushalya bought the shades, dark shades, and she put all those shades in the windows and all the doors, so that light, if they turn on the light inside, the light will not go out. So in that way, Mother Kaushalya understand the mood of the Prabhupada, and then Prabhupada, when she did it, and then they can do the service and all the kirtan service, preaching service in the evening hours without any problem during that time. Then Prabhupada said, Kaushalya, you are the first class intelligence devotee. You understood my mood without even I have told anything to you. Similarly, the second class devotee are those who followed the instruction of Guru when Guru asked them or requested them to perform some actions or some they understand based on their action. And the third class intelligence, when one is being told by the Guru, even the follower do not understand the instruction of the Guru properly. So as an aspiring devotee, we should all aspire for cultivate for the first class intelligence. And all the Lord Shiva followers has proved that they are a first class intelligence devotee or follower, so that they understood the mood and mind and heart of the Lord Shiva. So that's why they accompanied Mother Sati in the journey towards their father's home. Text 5 talk about the disciple of Lord Shiva arranged for Sati to be seated. So basically, it's kind of a royal parade. Mother Sati sat into the palanquin canopy, and then there were conch shell, buggles, and all the different paraphernalia. She got her favorite bird in her hand, and then they are singing, the drums, party, and everything is happening. Like it's kind of a royal parade is happening, and that's how they started towards their father house. So Mother Daksha is the sacrificial ceremony place. So in text 6, now Mother Sati reached her father's house, Daksha, where she observed that sacrifice is being performed, and everyone, like different brahmanas was there, and are chanting the Vedic hymns, and demigod were assembled. There are many people are assembled, and different sacrifices are happening. So she observation was happened, and here Prabhupada has mentioned two important aspects. One thing on the animal sacrifice, that he mentioned that animal sacrifice was done as for a sense gratification. Animal sacrifice was being done to give an animal a new life, and to test the Vedic mantra and the realization of the brahmanas. So they put the old animal in the fire and they gave them the new life. It's not, and another thing, that sacrifice has to be done for the pleasure of the Lord Vishnu. And there is in Kali Yuga that Vedic sacrifice, we can't do this Vedic sacrifice. That's not the correct process, because in Kali Yuga, not everyone have a same knowledge, and also not everyone qualified. So we have only one way, which is equivalent. It's a sound vibration. It's a Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Kevalam, Kalo Nashti, Eva Nashti, Eva Nashti, Eva Gati Ananta. So chanting the holy name is the only process where one can get purified in the age of Kali. There is no other way, no other way, no other way. Text 7, when Mother Sati reached the arena, then she again saw like everyone like assembled there, like Brahmana, demigod, and looks like everyone was very welcoming to Mother Sati, but they did not do welcome to Mother Sati physically, because they were afraid of the superior Daksha. And but mother and her sister welcomed her. Even Daksha did not welcome her. He ignored her completely. And mother and sister welcomed her with the tear in her eyes, and talked to her pleasingly, and then they offered some gifts. So here Prabhupada is explaining that women are very soft-hearted by nature, and then men are hard-hearted. So here it shows like mother and sister of Mother Sati are not being afraid of Daksha, and they welcomed Sati. And it could displease the superior Daksha, but it doesn't matter to them. But other Brahmana and demigods are not able to welcome Sati physically, but their heart, they were all welcoming, because they were kind of afraid of superiority of Daksha. So what we understand here, we have similar situation in our Krishna Leela, where when Krishna, Balram, and the cowherd boys, went outside and they were hungry. So Krishna guided them to go to the Brahmanas where they were praying. And then Brahmana was so, doing the meditation and yajna, they ignored the, request of all the cowherd boys who were hungry. So then they went back to Krishna and said, like, they did not get food from there. So then Krishna and Balaram suggested them to go to the wives of the Brahmana. And then the wives of Brahmana were eager to serve Krishna when those cowherd boys went there for a food and water. And they told that Krishna is also here and we are hungry. We need a prasadam. So Brahmana, by being a pure devotee of the Krishna, they were eager to serve Krishna and Balram, and then they filled different pots with the food, and then trying to rush towards the Krishna and serve him. So, even though their husband, son, and relatives doesn't want them to go, but they don't care at that time. They want to go. So basically, when the pure devotee is called by the attraction of Krishna, there is no point of material tie at that time, though no point of material affection. That doesn't matter at that point. Text 8 talk about that as the Mother Sati was received by her sister and mother, get offered by a lot of gifts and offered by the pleasing word, greeted by the pleasing word, still Mother Sati was not happy. She did not accept any kind of gifts because her father did not welcome her, and he did not ask welfare of her. So this purport Prabhupada mentioned, like the real meaning of the material bodily relationship. Like these bodily relationship can become anytime polluted, even though at a certain stage, the same relation between the Daksha and Mother Sati, she was the favorite daughter of Daksha. But when person is in the bodily platform puffed up, there are many misunderstanding or some ego, false ego. These kind of situation can afflict that situation, that relation, and that same pure relation can transfer to the enemy relation. So bodily relation are so transient that even though like someone is in a affectionate relationship, a slight provocation can terminate that love or intimacy. So we have seen many examples in our material life, like there is a conflict between brother to brother. In many family there is a conflict for money, for ego, some miscommunication, anything. Like there are many kind of so these bodily relationship, we need not to be in the bodily platform. And in Krishna Leela also, we have a similar situation when Yadu's, were having, they love each other, but because it's a Krishna Leela, basically it's an arrangement of a Krishna. That's a Krishna's arrangement that after taking the intoxication, they start fighting with each other, they start arguing with each other, and they're trying to kill each other. Because it's a arrangement of the Lord's will, because Lord was trying to wind up his pastime from this material planet. But yeah, but we can still relate, but that all these material relationship on a bodily platform can transition to the enmity. From affection can turn to the enmity with a slight provocation. Text 9. Now, when Mother Sati, present in the arena, she start observing the sacrifice. She saw, like, first of all, everyone has been invited. Lord Shiva has not been invited, and there was no offering for the Shivas. There was no oblation for her husband. So she kind of very sorrow, morose there. At a time, she became very angry, and then she looked at her father at the same anger that she can burn him with the eyes. So first we need to understand the Vedic sacrificial ceremony purpose. So in Bhagavad Gita, Lord said, Bhoktaram yaja tapasyam sarva loka maheshwaram. So whenever any sacrifice has been performed, it always been done for the pleasure of the Lord Vishnu. And if it's not happening, for the Lord Vishnu pleasure and for the pleasure of his devotee also. But here, Daksha was doing the sacrifice on a material platform for his own sense gratification. He was performing the sacrifice, and also he was being envious to Lord Shiva, and he did not invite Lord Shiva, and he's kind of offending the Lord Shiva by doing this sacrifice. And Mother Sati was being offended, so we should not consider her of being offended on a material platform, on an external platform, that she is kind of a wife of Lord Shiva, that's why she's being offended. No, she was a devotee, she was a pure devotee, and she could not tolerate the offense or blasphemy is being happened on a lotus feet of a pure devotee, Lord Shiva. She knows the Lord Shiva is an exalted personality. So we need to understand why Lord Shiva is an exalted personality, because Lord Shiva has equal vision. Like Lord Shiva basically look good in everyone. He doesn't look anyone as a bad thing. He doesn't see any bad qualities in other. He always see good qualities in other. He preaches to the ghost and most fallen soul. He drank the ocean of poison in the Samudra Manthan Leela to save the entire humanity or all the living being. He is one of the 12 Mahajan. And if you consider the difference between the Lord Shiva and the Vishnu, we can consider Lord Vishnu as a milk and Lord Shiva as a yogurt. Milk can transition to the yogurt, but yogurt cannot transition to milk again, because so Lord Vishnu can expand to Lord Shiva, but Lord Shiva cannot perform such qualities, such duties, which is being only served by the Lord Vishnu. But Lord Shiva has almost 55 attributes, while Vishnu has 60 and Lord Krishna has 4 additional attributes, 64 attributes. So we can understand that that Lord Shiva is Vaishwana, I think Vaishnava Yatha Shambhu, correct? He is the greatest Vaishnava among all. So we need to understand a different class of people. So now why Mother Sati think like now she should quit her body? Because Prabhupada has explained different class of, you know, society, how they behave when they observe the, you know, Vaishnava Aparadh. When a Brahmana see a Vaishnava is being offended, he just walk away that situation. So that's a learning for everyone as a practicing devotee. When we see in our temple or anywhere, you know, a devotee is being blasphemed, we should not hear that blasphemy. We should not participate in that. We should not even observe that. We should walk away from that situation. Because being a Brahmana or Vaishnava, we can't kill anyone. But being a Kshatriya, if Kshatriya observed the same situation, because he is a protector, he fight, that's his dharma, he can kill that offender. But when Vaishya and Shudra see the same situation, they can commit suicide, they can quit their body because they cannot tolerate such offense. So here Mother Sati is trying to be consider herself being a very low, being a woman. She's trying to consider herself a Shudra, and then that's why she was ready to quit her body. We have many example here, like and one more thing we need to understand, like even devotee, being a devotee can, you know, we have seen that when Lord Shiva was offended by harsh word of the Daksha in the first sacrifice, Lord Shiva did not say anything. He was meditating on the Lord and he walked, you know, left the arena, a sacrificial arena, but he did not say anything because it did not affect Lord Shiva at that time. Because devotee can tolerate the offense, you know, done by the offender, but Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot tolerate the offense done at the lotus feet of his pure devotee. We have many examples on that, like Jagai Madai and Nityananda Prabhu. Lord Nityananda was hit by the, you know, bottle by the Madai, and as soon as Lord Chaitanya got to know about it, he invoked the Sudarshan Chakra and wanted to kill the Jagai and Madai. But Lord Nityananda pleaded Lord Chaitanya not to kill them. And then because of the mercy of Lord Nityananda, Jagai and Madai was saved. And we have a Haridas Thakur example when he was being beaten by at 18 marketplace. Haridas Thakur, to save Haridas Thakur, Lord Chaitanya want to invoke the Sudarshan Chakra to kill all those Muslim. But Haridas Thakur prayed to Lord Chaitanya not to invoke the Sudarshan Chakra, not to reveal his identity in a public place. And then Lord Chaitanya saved him, tried to save him by getting hit by the people. He just covered him. We have many other examples of Maharaj Durvasa Muni and Maharaj Amrish. We have that example. So we need to be very careful. The learning is principle is we need to be very careful with the dealing of Vaishnava, how we should not offend any Vaishnava, because that comes under the direct aparadha, nama aparadha category. There are two kinds of aparadha, seva aparadha, nama aparadha. Nama aparadha is very direct offense. Even Lord cannot tolerate. Lord cannot tolerate such offense. As sun, when there is a scorching heat, sun can. So if you talk about in India, in a scorching heat, we cannot walk from our barefooted in the heat because we can't walk in the you know, it will burn our feet. But same time, head can face that heat of the sun, but feet cannot face the heat of the sun. It will burn away. The same situation, like you can consider, like head can be a Vaishnava. Vaishnava can tolerate the aparadhas, but Lord do not, you know, cannot tolerate the aparadha or offense of offense on the lotus feet of the devotee. And then Prabhupada also explained how devotee what is the devotee dealings with the other devotee. It's also mentioned that devotee should always amplify the good qualities of other person, because if you amplify the good qualities, then you will never see the bad qualities of anyone else. Then you will only talk about the good qualities. Just glorify the good qualities of other persons so that nobody can see the bad about anyone, anything bad, any vulnerability of others person. And the example has been given like how bee take the nectar, honey from the flower, but bee doesn't care about the thorns and the leaves of that same flower. She only take care of the nectar. Similarly, devotee should only glorify or amplify the good qualities of another person and forget about and don't pay attention on any of the vulnerabilities. That should be the dealing of a Vaishnava. And then text 10 talk about the follower of Lord Shiva. When they observe that Mother Sati is kind of angry, they were trying to kill Daksha and injure him, but Mother Sati stopped them. They because then Mother Sati speak her mind to her father. In the following verses, there are many verses where Mother Sati, she's trying to express her mind out, and then Mother Sati mentioned here that not anyone in this arena is enemy is having the enmity feeling against Lord Shiva. Only you, Daksha, my father, you are envious of Lord Shiva. And then whenever any sacrificial activity are done on the purpose of for own sense gratification and not to please the Lord Vishnu and Lord devotee of the Lord Vishnu, and Lord Shiva is being offended here, so devotee are not pleased, so Lord will not be pleased. So such labor will not be fruitful. It will all be useless. So such labor of that sacrificial, he will not get any kind of result because he is offending such a pure devotee of the Lord. So Mother Sati, so try to justify that whatever Daksha is doing is not correct. And Narottam Das Thakur has mentioned that Krodha Bhakta Dvesha Jane, that one should use the anger for a right purpose, like to show the anger to those who are offensive to the Krishna and his devotee. Otherwise, he should not use the anger for some other purpose. He should use the anger only for those purposes. And Mother Sati so it's justified that Mother Sati was being angry at this situation. So that's what Prabhupada is trying to prove in the purport. Text 11 talk about now Mother Sati is is saying like that no one is very dear to him. He's trying to tell the Lord Shiva situation that nobody is dear to him and nobody is enemy to him. He is a very Samadarshina. He is an exalted person. He's trying to glorify the Lord Shiva. And no one could be envious of such a universal person. So she's saying like, no, how can a person be envious to him when he is not envious to anyone? He is free from all enmity. So because Lord says in Bhagavad Gita that I am equal to all living entity, Prabhupada mentioned in the purport. So similarly, Lord Shiva has a similar qualities that as being an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that he is equal to everyone and no one is an enemy. So no one is his friend. So he's having an equal feeling. So that's the last verse. But in the following verses, what will happen? Mother Sati will express her mind out to Daksha. She will give lot of arguments to her father. And later on, she will take the oblation. She meditate on the lotus feet of Lord Shiva. And she will, quit her body on the blazing fire. She invoked the fiery air and then she quit her body. And then Lord Shiva, when got to know about that situation, he out of Shiva wrath, anger, two personality came out, Balabhadra and Veerabhadra, and then they destroyed the sacrificial arena of the Lord, sacrificial arena of the Daksha, and then they cut the neck of the Daksha, and later on Daksha get the goat neck. So that's following verses. That's how the story will turn out. So I sorry for that I took more time. But I would like to stop here. Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please forgive me if I have misspoken anything and if I have hurt anyone's feeling. Please forgive me as your humble servant. Thank you for being patient with me. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Himanshu bro. Wonderful class, bro. Hare Krishna, bro.
Thank you very much.